That's like my past. I want to be like the best. I definitely want to try. I'm in hot like I definitely want to try. So when I seen that, I was just like, now I need to get locked in. Alright, so anybody want to start the month? 3 minutes. We're going to go at 3. 3 minutes, right? Yep.
Test. So King is 4-1. This is King 4th game. 3-1.
I believe.
I'm jumping for my dreams. I'm super magnetic, bring the championship to me. Super with exclusives, hit the link and you can see what it takes to be a top athlete. Coast to coast we going, so to come up you can see. From the court to the field to the track we can meet. Everything exclusive, straight behind the scenes. This the athlete. Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. Now let's talk about the athlete. The path is like a track meet. Distractions in the crowd, you gotta master that within thee. Passion in the how, you put it down, then we'll see the difference between the others and the athlete. You must
Definitely revenge. King and Oak Creek faced each other last year with a battle to get upstate. Now King was not able to pull through, and Oak Creek took the cake with the score of 66-57. So either way, this evening's game is definitely, the theme is revenge. Now I did talk to both coaches before the game this evening, and Oak Creek told me they're going to definitely concentrate on man and keep 2 on Roby the entire game. And King, they were kind of, they were worried. They said that they have 3 girls hurt and they're in need of guards. So either way, it's going to be a great game, and I'll have updates throughout the game.
All right, thank you so much, Gia. This is Coach Winston. This has been one of those kind of a little rivalry we have going here with Oak Creek and Rufus King Generals, and so we're hoping in for a great matchup. About to do the starting lineup, but before they say the starting lineup, we got to pause for the national anthem.
Good evening. Welcome to Oak Creek High School. We appreciate your attendance at this game and hope you enjoy.
Tonight's game is being played under the rules of the FHS, the WIA, and the Southeast Conference.
These rules provide for fair play and good sportsmanship among players and coaches.
As captains, we ask you spectators to help us.
right, that was the national anthem, and this is the Athlete Live, and we're getting ready to introduce the starting five for both teams. Right, first, you're going to watch probably the Rufus King, the visiting team, Rufus King Generals, probably led by Sydney Roby, and their starting five goes like this. At number 12, 5'4" guard, that's Alana Garcia. At forward, number 24, and that would be Lindsay Burnett. Number 21, the senior guard, is Kay Clark. She's a slasher, and she's one of their best players. Number 24, that's Lindsay Burnett. And at forward center, the Miami recruit, the Sydney Roby, and she coach is probably one of the most dominating players that the state of Wisconsin has seen for a very long time.
Sydney plays with some nastiness. She reminds me of the young lady that used to play at Washington. Nickname was Big Dookie. Like, she demands that ball in the post. She wants the ball in the post. She refuses to be boxed out. Obviously, she's coming off a knee injury from the summertime, so she's working herself back into shape, along with getting comfortable with wearing that brace. But congratulations to that young lady going to the University of Miami. They got a great ball player coming.
And the starting five for the Oak Creek girls Knights, number 4 guard, 5'8", Maddie Guard. 15, guard junior, Jenny Blunt. Number 20, Nicole Hernandez. She'll be playing the 4 position. 22, Katie Guard, 5'8" guard, senior guard. And the lady in the middle will be number 34, Jamie Finn, a 5'10" forward. Big time matchup here at the Athlete when we have our first ladies game of this young season, where we have Milwaukee King, one of the top teams not only in the area but in the state. Jose, you got a little information on them. Their last time out didn't go very well too much for the Rufus General Kings. They're looking to get back on track tonight.
Yeah, and Oak Creek is led by Mandy Guard. Mandy Guard is averaging 17.7 points, 4.7 rebounds. Katie Guard is giving you 6.3 rebounds. This moment is not too big for them. Like you said, they played in state championship games last year. They beat King last year. They're very familiar with King's pressure. They're very familiar with Roby down low. They're very well coached. So they'll be up for this challenge.
And King wins the tip, and they're moving the ball around. Look for them to get the ball down low, and that's what they did. Oak Creek did a great job last year getting Sydney into foul trouble. She wasn't able to finish the game, and Oak Creek had a phenomenal senior class that led this team to state. So watch for Rufus King to do that heavy dose of Sydney Roby, and they have a 6'4" sophomore transfer from Dominican, and her name is Sydney Joy. So she'll come in. She might see her play alongside Sydney Roby as a twin tower thing, but she's the next up-and-coming big from Rufus King.
Right now, that early possession, Oak Creek came out in man-to-man. It was a packed-in man-to-man. They're putting 2, one in front of Sydney, one behind Sydney. They're daring King to shoot the 3-point shot. They're honoring Garcia, but everyone else, they're kind of inviting them to shoot threes. So that'll be interesting throughout the course of the game, how much patience Sydney will have if she's not getting the ball early.
And King will have to make perimeter shots, as you see. Nice up and under right there by number 14, Alonso Post-DeLong. That nice up and over. You'll see a lot of teams are going to sag off the King shooters, so King's going to have to make shots if they want to make a deep run in February and March when the tournament comes around. Shot up right there by number 34 for Jamie Finn. No shots, no good. Offensive rebound. It seems like as a coach, you're probably preaching box out. This is another game where the last game we did a great backdoor cut right there, and number 4 wasn't able to finish it. The guard was able to get her own rebound, go back up strong. But offensive rebound seems like that's the key in every game, whether it's boys or girls.
Absolutely. That's one of the keys every coach kind of puts on the board. One of the keys will be rebounding. The second key will be turnover. The third key will be trying to win the free throw battle. So those are keys that every coach puts up. Mandy was able to get an offensive rebound there and finish the second time. King's going to really have to lock in defensively with their man-to-man principles, because Oak Creek does a lot of back cuts. They set their screens up really well. So this will be a very interesting game, both defensively and offensively for both groups. Which team can impose their will probably win this game.
And a foul right there on Rufus King, number 14. Sia DeLone picking up her first foul. First team foul for Rufus King. Turnover by King, goes the ball to the Knights. Lady Knights possession.
Unforced turnover there. Garcia bringing it up and just double dribble. Those are turnovers that, as a coach, drive you nuts because they're unforced. Those are turnovers that you definitely don't want in the type of game this is going to be. This game may come down to 1 or 2 possessions, and sometimes you can look back at those early turnovers, and those early turnovers can dictate whether you win or lose.
All right, Knights with the ball, number 4, Maddie Guard, but their senior guard. She goes to the basket, gets it off the glass, gets it to drop, and Maddie Guard is imposing her will early on in this game. 4-2, the home team. Garcia passes to Roby. Roby, that's what she does better than anybody in the state of Wisconsin, is getting the ball and a nice and one finish by Sydney Roby.
If there's any Achilles heel in Sydney's game, it will be her shooting free throws. But when you're talking about getting the ball down low and finishing, there's nobody in the state better than Sydney finishing by that rim. Just like on the other end, Miss Guard, who was able to drive that ball. She's one of the better offensive players in the state as well. So both of the stars are showing up early.
And Sydney was able to connect on the basket plus the foul, giving King a 1-point lead, 5-4. Even though this is not the same Oak Creek team that knocked off this Rufus King team, a lot of these players were either on the bench. Some of them contribute, as you see right there, 30-20. Hernandez pulls up the jump shot. She's no good. But they feel like they're just as good as last year because nobody had this team even making it to state. So that's the great thing about high school. You have to believe, and this team believes in what Coach Steve Lovechuck was talking about, and his team really got it going.
Yeah, well, they have a system. They have a system. The players understand the system. They understand what he wants from them, his non-negotiables that he has, and they play hard. Anytime you have a team with a Mandy on there that can score from all over, you have an opportunity to be pretty good.
And you see King in that full-court press. Can the Knights handle the pressure that King will be? And right there, as you see, Janae Blunt answers with a three-pointer. When you press, you open up spots for open shots like that for shooters that Oak Creek has.
Already in the first 4 minutes of this game, you've seen 4 of the starters from Oak Creek shoot three-point shots. So it tells you how versatile they are.
But Mandy Guard, her sister Katie Guard, goes strong to the basket and get the foul and one, giving Oak Creek 9-7 lead, and she's going to the free throw line. If this anything like this past weekend at the Terry Porter Classic, like we did that Washington and Martin Luther game, we're in for another big-time matchup. I like when you have teams out of conference playing each other, whether it's the Oak Creeks versus Milwaukee King or what we had Saturday when we had Milwaukee Washington going down to a thriller against Martin Lutheran.
It prepares both teams for the playoffs. You know, each team, it's bigger than this game. This is just the 4th, 5th game of the season for these young ladies. So this is just a regular game. But it prepares them to see different type of teams, different type of defenses, different type of offenses to help prepare them for the playoffs.
And once again, Sydney Roby doing damage down low as she gets the bucket plus the foul for another shot at an and one opportunity. And this, if you're coach for Rufus King, this is what you want. You want to get the ball down to your star player, and that's what she does best. Like we said, better than anybody. She can fit. She is so strong, and her footwork puts her in position to score easy baskets just like that. She knows her game. She's not the new age player where she's shooting threes. Anything in that paint is where she operates.
Like Shaq say, if she catches down low, it's barbecue chicken. There's nobody in the state that can guard that girl. When she catches it by that box and in, 5 feet and in, it's over with. And she loves to be down there. She plays with a sense of urgency when she catches that ball down there. What people got to understand, too, is this. She's a Division I player for a reason.
Yes.
You know, you just don't get a Division I scholarship just because you're an okay player in high school. You got to be a pretty good basketball player in high school, and she has it. She's a Division I player. She's going to do very, very well at the University of Miami.
And she's going to the ACC, which is a power basketball conference within itself with teams like Notre Dame, North Carolina. So that's a big time. Maryland, that's a big. She's going to see some good action night in and night out in the ACC, which brings me to the question, Coach. How did we get her out? How did Wisconsin Marquette have a girl like this in our backyard slip when they – I give Marquette credit. They did land Shamir Williams out of Milwaukee Academy of Science. But imagine pairing Shamir and Sydney Roby on the same team for Marquette. Marquette's been doing a great job of recruiting city girls from the city area because they have look at their roster, they have 3 or 4 girls from the city. So you let one get away, and Sydney could be a program changer.
Yeah, you know, the recruiting battles. Sometimes it comes down to fit. It comes down to need. I think Miami probably may be a better fit for her. It's definitely a place that you would probably want to spend 4 years of college. I can tell you that much.
Yes.
You know, so they did. They didn't get Sydney, but they were able to get Shamir, who's a top talent in the state and in the country. You know, some battles you win, some battles you lose, some battles, you know. So, obviously, as a fan, you wish one of those schools would have been able to get her. But you still, you know, going over to the ACC, you're going to cheer for the young lady.
And one of the things you made a point, as I interviewed Sydney when she had her commitment, her mom, she said her family made a decision. Mom asked Sydney, go to a place where you can find yourself living after college. And like you said, Miami is a great place if you want to live many years after college. And so I think that had a big influence of what Sydney wanted to do. Her mom was a big-time college player, went overseas and played many years of pro ball. So Sydney Roby comes from a basketball pedigree family, with her mom being one of the better players that the state has ever seen. So back to the game, was a technical foul for King. Still right here by Kara Clark as she gets the steal, but foot on the line. Here at Oak Creek High School, the athlete, we got 10-9. Oak Creek with a 1-point lead, 14 minutes left in the first half. Craig Hart alongside my partner, Coach Jose Winston, and we should have a good one.
Looks like King's going to try to pick up that pressure full court. Oak Creek, great out-of-bounds play. Just didn't finish the layup. This is a young lady I think is the X factor for King. Kate Clark. Yeah. She's a very, very talented young lady. She's probably one of the best defensive players in the state of Wisconsin. I would put her 1A, and I would put Ariel 1B. Ariel is from Milwaukee Vincent.
Kirkwood.
And we'll get an opportunity to see them actually compete against each other later on down the line. So I think she's an offensive and defensive threat. And I want to see if she starts to become more aggressive this game, because they're going to need her scoring. They won't be able to beat Oak Creek with just Sydney. Someone else is going to have to step up and score for them.
Yeah, Milwaukee Kings a totally different player when Kay Clark and Alana Garcia are playing at high levels. That takes this team to not just being a good team, but being a great team. And so when Kay Clark is running the floor, she's like you said, one of the best slashers, and she's so unselfish. Turnover there by Kay Clark. Here comes the Knights in transition. Nice pass right there. And again, number 4, Maddie Gard is putting her name on this game as she gets that basket, as giving the Knights a 12-9 lead here in the first half.
I like the game plan by Oak Creek right now. Right now, they're switching up defensive. They're playing a little man. They're playing a little zone. They're inviting the non-shooters to shoot the 3. But if King turns it over, Oak Creek is looking to change sides of the floor quickly and score early like they just did in that previous possession. So I really like their game plan. They're coming off high cuts up low, forcing King to have to jump to the ball. If they don't jump to the ball, they're finishing at the rim right now.
And that basket right there by Janaea Blunt as she gets the basket, cutting, making the lead 14-9 Oak Creek. And you said they're extending Rufus King, but they're making Sydney Roby work on both sides of the floor, where they're dropping or sagging. But now if you see it, Hernandez is dribbling the ball, making Sydney have to guard outside the paint, which is opening up those back doors. We have a travel call on Rufus King. Number 22, didn't see that. Nia Blade was called for a walk right there. Not sure what the ref was saying, but nevertheless, the ref called the travel on that one.
Hey, he's a really good referee. I have my glasses on tonight, and that was right in front of me, and I know I saw that, and that was not a travel. But we all make mistakes.
Right. Maybe the Oak Creek defender falling kind of messed up his peripheral vision and not being able to make the correct call. But nevertheless, turnover by Milwaukee King early, and here comes the Knights.
This is when King, I think this is when other ladies have to step up for King. When Roby's out the game, they are a completely different team offensively because they don't have that power inside that they can dump it into. Although Sydney Joy is a pretty good player, she's not a Roby, not yet. You know, so I'm very interested to see how King can hold up with this barrage of three-point shooting and finishing at the rim that Oak Creek has going on right now without Roby being in the game.
And substitutions for King, number 10, Brianna Dukes. Nice three-pointer right there by the Knights. Substitution for King, you got number 10, Brianna Dukes, number 42, Sydney Joy, the transfer from Dominican High School, and also number 34, and that would be, she's 34, but we don't have a 34 here on the jersey. So we have to catch her name. 34 on the court, but they don't have a 34 listed on the roster. So we'll find a name as the game goes along. 17-9 here at Oak Creek. Oak Creek with an 8-point advantage. And now, that's one thing the game plan hasn't changed. When you bring in Sydney Joy, she's also a low post low for teams to kind of have to deal with. So she gave Roby a break, and now you're bringing Roby back in. So now you have a twin tower lineup with the Sydney twins.
You have both twin towers in there right now. So I wonder if Oak Creek plans on going to their patented 2-3 or 1-3-1 zone that they run. But with that being said, that means that both Sydneys are going to have to guard someone on the perimeter. So it's going to be give and take. Oak Creek may be beat up inside, but then King may be beat up outside because they're going to have to get out there and they're going to have to guard those guards out there.
So we'll see what King is going to do when you have two on the block. When having two post players, they're going to clog up that middle. We can see if they can do a high-low, and that's one of the best offensive rebounds right there. Sydney Roby goes and get it off the glass to connect for two. 17-11, Rufus King down 6 to Oak Creek Knights here in Oak Creek.
Okay, and you see King with both big girls in, Sydney Joy and Roby. They went to their 2-3 zone a little bit. So Oak Creek's going to work it around, try to get the best look that they can get, whether it's from the perimeter or to get a little drive there like they did.
Another foul on Rufus King. That foul goes number 44 on that's Roby picking up her first foul. And that's one thing you don't want to see King get in the foul trouble, especially Sydney Roby, because like you said, Coach, once she goes out, this is a totally different ball game.
You know, Sydney's one of those girls that as a coach, you don't want to take her aggressiveness away. She's naturally aggressive. But some of those early layups that we may have to give up simply because we don't want you to get into foul trouble. That's a play there where I don't know if I want her picking up that foul with 10:46 left in the first half. Maybe I just have to give that layup up so that we can have her later on down the line, because one of her issues have been foul trouble because she's so aggressive.
Alana Garcia brings the ball up looking for Roby down low. That could have been an over-the-back foul. That's a dangerous pass right there. You might want to swing the ball and have the guard on that side of the court make that post entry free. So that one
now who can be that next person that's going to step up. So this won't be the same team that you see tonight. This team will be different a few weeks from now.
3-point shot over there, right there by 23. That's off the mark. Kara Clark with the rebound. Kings in transition. This is what they do best. Pass to Garcia. Garcia passes up the shot to 24. And that is money in the bank by Linares Burnett, cutting the lead to 3. 17-14. Milwaukee King down 3.
That's a big shot there to be able to open up the floor a little bit. Maybe she'll be able to knock down some shots, Burnett, to be able to open it up for Sid and for Joy down in the post a little bit. After knocking that one down, coach is probably going to have her on the side where Sydney Joy will be posting so that they can get it low, because they'll have to honor her after knocking one down.
Oak Creek bringing the ball up, getting into their offense. King extending the defense, almost with a steal right there. Goes for the steal, and three-pointer right there, 22 for Oak Creek, and that is Katie Gard. The Gard sisters are really putting on the show, and excuse me if they're not sisters, they have the same last name, they're relatives in some type of way.
And they've been in this moment. They played in the state championship game last year, so this moment is not big for them. I'm sure they were very excited about this game tonight.
And that's a great thing when you can bring some championship experience. And Rufus King has championship experience from 2 years ago. This same cast of players with Kay Clark, Garcia, and Sydney Roby all made it as their sophomore years, eventually losing to Appleton North, who became the Division I state champions that year. Taught King a lesson. Here's Oak Creek in transition. He's going to slow it up.
You got to locate the Gard sisters. They can really, if they're sisters, they can really knock it down. They have Oak Creek has an interesting team. They have multiple people that can do different things. So the moment you key in on one individual as a shooter, the other one knocks it down.
Basket by 22 for Nia Blaze. She connects it, making it 2016. Milwaukee King down 4 here in the first half. Live at Oak Creek, you're watching the athlete.
Great job by King weathering the storm, buckling down defensively in their 2-3 zone, weathering the storm of Oak Creek, getting a couple turnovers, and this is where they have to attack. Don't let the defense get set. Attack the rim.
Kaya Clark with the steal, comes up a little short, and here is Oak Creek in transition. Number 4 wants to slow it down, and that's Maddie Gard. She's in the corner, left open for 3. Gard can't make it. Rebound, Kaya Clark. Kaya Clark is all over the stat sheets right now with rebounds and steals. Garcia up for 3, can't connect, but sophomore Sydney is called for travel.
Great offensive rebound by Sydney Joyce. She just lost her footing a bit. I'll tell you what, King may be losing one Sydney after this year, but they got another big Sydney inside who can play as well. So King is a young team too, so they have a great future. Just like Oak Creek got some really good young players as well, so their future is bright as well. You're going to see these two teams battle each other quite a bit in the next coming years.
And they could, like you said, Coach, they could play another game if both teams do well in their regular season and regionals. They could end up playing again in the sectionals. Penetration kick out, 15, a little short. Oak Creek with the rebound, but it goes off the Oak Creek defender, Rufus King ball. This game has a nice flow to it. Not a lot of fouls, no timeouts, and it's going pretty fast first half so far.
I really like King's 2-3 zone. It's very active. They're pushing out high. They're forcing Oak Creek to have to either drive around them or they're going to have to take a contested three-point shot. I really like the switch up by Coach Craig into the 2-3 zone.
Garcia is getting King in the offense by Oak Creek as they want to talk about it as they have a 20-18 lead here in the first half. And we're going to have a report probably coming up soon from our reporter. And before she goes on, we'll see what she's got going on. And I think we're going to go right now. (6:20-18) first half action going on here at Oak Creek for this live stream broadcast. So, do you think, Coach, that a lot of pressure right now is on Rufus King because they had that notion of what happened last year? This is the team. This is where their season kind of ended, going up against Oak Creek. I think they're playing a little tense right here with a little pressure on them. Any pressure on this team?
I think they're trying to figure out offensively kind of how Oak Creek's playing them. Oak Creek has done a phenomenal job switching up defenses. I believe that as far as last year, I think that's over with. Obviously, I know they're probably excited to be here playing tonight, but I don't think they're thinking about last year much at all.
All right, we're going to inbound the ball. 2018 Oak Creek with a 2-point lead. 6:15 remaining in the first half.
You know, I think one of the I don't think people talk enough about how good of a passer Sydney Roby is. She catches that ball quite a bit in the post.
And I think we got Gia help our sideline reporter with a report.
All right, guys, so I just had a peek into King's timeout, and it was pretty interesting. They stressed that zone was working well for them. You know, even though the score only shows a 2-point deficit, it's kind of like a paper cut. You know, it's a small little deficit, but it's hurting a lot. King has not been that efficient, except right there as they just scored with the ball, you know, and Oak Creek, the zone has really slowed them down a lot. They're making King work, although King has been patient. They're not being able to make the basket right now. So within these last 5 minutes, it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. I'm going to have a next update for you as soon as I can. Until then, I'm Giovanna He.
All right, thank you, Giovanna. And Coach, just like you said, that zone is definitely making them work a little bit. But I think the zone for both teams is giving both teams problems on offense.
I agree with you.
Oak Creek moving the ball around. Kings stepped up the defense a little bit. Missed shot right there. Now Kara Clark with another rebound, and she pushes it up better. Kind of missed Garcia in the corner for open shot. She's their probably second best three-pointer. Great cross-court pass, and there's Nina Blade knocks down the basket, giving Milwaukee King a lead with under 5 minutes, 22-20 here in the first half.
One of the surprising things that I've seen so far is how great of a passer Roby is. She accepts the double team. She doesn't force it. She finds the open person, and she's able to step out to that 15-foot area and make the high-low passes as well. So she's a great passer. I think that's an aspect of her game that most people don't talk about because she's so dominant and the best in the state. King has done a good job of slowing Oak Creek down with their zone, and now they're getting out into transition. It looks like they've really settled in into the atmosphere. They're settled in, and now we got a game on our hand. Oh, that could have been close.
We got away with one right there. Could have been over her back, and she swipes, but they're going to call her for a travel. Maybe a makeup call because she did go over the back, and then she tried to initiate the fast break. That's the third traveling you've seen on the King bigs.
And I like what Coach just did. Sid got in. She led him on a little run. She has 2 fouls. He took her back out at the 2 minutes and 48 second mark so that she doesn't pick up that third foul. Great job by Coach Craig in recognizing her foul trouble and recognizing that they made a pretty good run to get the lead, and now she could probably rest these last two minutes.
Great defense by Rufus King, forcing a 5-second call. Garcia brings the ball up the court. Garcia finds Sydney. Sydney can't handle the ball, and now they're on the break. Tough pass, great catch, and Maddie Guard goes up strong. That was a great catch by number 1, Benatine, the freshman. She's only a freshman making that great catch with one hand.
Oak Creek guards do a great job of getting the outlet pass out there to try to get some transition points. They're one of the better schools, boys and girls, that I've seen that actually look ahead for that outlet pass to try to get easy transition points.
Maddie Guard's at the free throw line. She's shooting 2. First one's about to be up. And first one is in and out. Substitution for Rufus King. Number 10 comes in for Rufus King, and that's Brianna Duke, 5'2 junior guard. As she replaces 24, which we never got that name for 20. No, that's Linares Burnett as she comes in for. Second one's up and good. Giving 24-26 Milwaukee King 2-point lead. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. At Oak Creek Live is the athlete.
Both guards have a great stroke. When they let that ball go, every time they let it go, it looks like it's going in. This is a really good high school girls basketball game.
King working the ball around, trying to get the ball inside to their 6'4 sophomore, Sydney Joy. They still have Kaya Clark. This is where you might want to see Kaya Clark or Garcia kind of take advantage and take control of this game. King being patient, Clark spins up, no good. That rebound comes Oak Creek for Maddie with the rebound there in transition. She's been making great decisions as she finds 14. 14 goes up for the shot. That's off by Haley Simchek. Here comes Garcia. 1:30 left in the first half. 24-26. Milwaukee King up by 2.
Although Oak Creek missed that last shot, that was great ball movement by Oak Creek. They don't allow that ball to stick. They have that ball popping, whereas they catch one another in rhythm to be able to knock down a shot.
Great pass by Garcia to Sydney Joyce. He can't connect, but she will be going to the line, shooting 2 free throws.
Garcia has been doing a great job getting into that paint, finding her big girls to where they're putting them in a position to be able to score that in an area that they're comfortable scoring.
First free throw attempt is no good. Substitutions for Oak Creek as number 12 comes in. That's Janae Winsky. Number 22 also comes in for Oak Creek. That is Katie Gard replacing 23, Sarah Krause. Sydney Joyce at the line with 1 shot left. Second shot is up. Comes up a little short. Rebound, Oak Creek. Minute 07 left here in the first half. Oak Creek wants to get a good shot, have positive momentum going into halftime.
Running a little X cut against the zone. They're bringing, when the ball is passed opposite big, flashes to the high post. If it goes back, if it's passed around the perimeter to the opposite side, then the other big, the high post big will dive, and the opposite big will flash again and try to get something in the middle to free up those shooters on the wing.
King could play for the last shot. We'll see what they do with 45 seconds left here in the first half. They're working the ball around. Nina Blade, nice looking jump shot, in and out. 30 seconds left. Oak Creek with a chance for 1 shot, but the way this game is going, they're going back and forth. Whatever shot's available, both teams are taking tonight.
Oak Creek's going to go for 1 here. I see Coach calling out 1 shot. They're probably going to run one of the guards, catch it on the wing and run them to the corner to where they can maybe catch it high post and get it to the corner for an open 3.
15 seconds left as Oak Creek works the ball around. If I was Oak Creek, you might want to get the ball to Maddie Gard because she's been making it happen all night. Maybe her and Katie Gard, maybe some 2-man game.
Sounds good. Thanks for your time.
All right,
guys, you heard it right here. I will have another update for you as soon as Oak Creek comes out. Until then, I'm Giovanna Heath with The Athlete.
All right, thanks, Gia, so much for that report. As you see, Coach wants to keep everything going, but you also want to make sure that you can keep your bigs out of foul trouble right there with Sydney having 2 fouls, making sure she doesn't get a foul and that's pick it up early in that second half.
Yeah, I think Coach did a great job, an absolutely great job of when King was down maybe 4 to 6 points. He brought Sydney back in, trusting in his senior not to pick up another foul. Sydney came in. She made 2 great passes from the high post, high-low, got 2 easy layups. They were able to take the lead, and then he got her back out to preserve those other 3 fouls that she has. So great job by Coach in understanding that Sydney Roby is a senior, trusting her and getting her back in when he needed to.
Well, if you're Oak Creek, you got to love what you're seeing by this. This is not like we talked about at the beginning of this telecast. Not the same team from last year that made that state championship run. But you have guards, the twin sisters, and Maddie Gard, and then also Katie Gard, that are playing phenomenal basketball. So if they can keep that same type of energy going in the second half, we might have ourselves a great game going down to the wire. You're watching The Athlete. We're going to go to a break after this halftime break. We'll come back, and we'll give you our keys to the second half. But for now, you're watching The Athlete here on The Athlete Live.
Athlete Performance is Wisconsin's premier athletic training provider. From individual to group sessions, we have what's needed to take your game to the next level. Our world-class facility, staff, and programs ensure that you can reach your maximum potential, maintain your performance, and excel on the field of play. Athlete Performance. Come to where the pros train.
Brothers Auto has been serving the community close to 20 years in business. and its sales team has a combined 200 years of knowledge throughout the dealership to help put you in the right car. Hanson Brothers Auto is family owned and well respected around the greater Milwaukee area. Hanson Brothers Auto offers a service department also. So stop in and let Hanson Brothers put you in the car you deserve.
Trusty Kicks is a place where you can buy, sell, and trade sought-after sneakers. You can find us in the heart of downtown Milwaukee. We buy Jordan Retro sneakers along with other exclusive models such as Kanye West Yeezy shoes and many others. Make sure to stop in and check us out at 532 North Water Street or visit us at our website, which is www.trustykicks.com.
They just flew from California to Seattle, so he's been in California all weekend, and now he just flew to Seattle. I'm gonna have him sign on.
They can watch right now. They can listen right here. Dog, you got periods? They don't play periods in high school. They play halves.
Come on, Trey Day.
I know, dog. You play high school basketball.
Trey Day, you better than that, dog. Come on, man.
All right.
You think you still in high school?
No. We way past the period time. You want to go on? You got something? You want to go on or no?
Go on right now?
Yeah. You want to? Okay. We're going to come to Gia first and then come to us.
Is that it? Theathlete.co? Just go to YouTube.
YouTube, The Athlete Live.
The Athlete. All together?
Yeah. That's the YouTube.
Okay. Ready? All right, guys, just a quick little update for you. I was able to talk to the head coach from Oak Creek during the halftime break, and he told me the message inside the locker room was get the ball in the creases, pack the center inside out. They both know that zone was a weakness for both teams, and they're looking to defeat that, obviously, by, like I just mentioned, getting the ball inside and staying out of foul trouble. So we'll see if they'll be able to handle that. Right now, the score is tied.
Coming down the stretch of this game, she's knocked down her second three tonight, So what that does is that loosens the defense inside for Roby.
Oak Creek working the ball as they get the ball inside. Great.
Nice drive by guard. Was unable to score that one. But great cut. Great backdoor cut by guard. Nice drive on the other end by Garcia. Being able to put the pressure on Oak Creek in transition to get another foul on guard. Another issue will be the Twins foul trouble for Oak Creek. They can't afford to lose either one of them. One guard, Katie, has 2 fouls right now.
Turnover by Rufus King. And that was a kind of a little thing for both teams in that first half, turning the ball over. We see who can take care of that ball here in the second half. We'll go a long way to find out who's going to win this game as Oak Creek works the ball around the horn. Good, 3 guards out. Double screen right there. That was a set play by Maddie, and she knocks down the 3-pointer. Maddie Guard is playing awesome basketball tonight, folks.
You cannot lose her. You cannot lose her. By far, she's the best shooter on their team. But on the other hand, this is interesting because now that Barnett has knocked down a couple threes, it has opened up the lane a bit for Clark to be able to get to the middle and be able to score there, along with Roby being able to post up. So they're going to stay home a little bit more on Barnett.
And it seemed like that basket by Kay Clark to see Pardon, and she was able to get right in the middle of the defense with nobody there to stop her.
You see on that offensive possession by Oak Creek, Sydney's size and just the thought process of guard understanding that if I go in there, she's probably going to block it, force her to miss that easy bunny there.
If this is a close game, do you think, I know you said the last year was last year, but does some of that start to creep into the Rufus King General's mindset? Well, hey, we were in this situation last year. We came up a little short. And does that give Oak Creek confidence because they can play with the team, and many people think Oak Creek is the underdog in this game. King is the favorite, but you give anybody a chance, and when it comes down to the last five minutes, anything can happen.
Yeah, I think they'll have some of those thoughts in the back of their mind, but it'll come down to execution. Who executes best? Which role person can step up and knock down a shot? That was a huge shot there.
Jenny Blunt comes up with the big-time 3, giving Oak Creek a 1-point lead, 32-31. 15 minutes remaining here in the second half, and this is 3-pointer shot is up by Barnett. And like you said, Coach, if they leave her open, she's opening up everything. That's her third 3-pointer.
So they're going to continue to place Roby over on her side. They're going to continue to try to get it to her in the wing or in that corner area where they have to stay home, and then they don't have an opportunity to double team or triple team Roby as much.
It's like a great chess match right there by Coach Craig for Rufus King. Putting your powerful player right there, Roby, and she is so dominating and she gets the ball in that block and there's no one stopping her. Great drop step right there, giving King 36-32 lead.
Let's keep in mind Nicole Hernandez, Oak Creek's biggest player. She's in a little foul trouble. She had 3 fouls in the first half, that's Sydney's Roby's third foul now. So we'll see how they play this.
And that block right there, it might have been a clean block, but if you see the Roby, is that a block you have to have at that moment with 14 minutes left? You're more valuable on the court than you are getting a block in the stat sheet.
I agree with you. I think she has to understand time and score. She has to understand that she has 2 fouls in that position, and that there's still 15 minutes left in this game. So the importance of Sydney Roby is huge to this team. She cannot foul out of this game, and they be able to beat Oak Creek.
And Coach is going to keep her in the game, like you said, trusting in his senior forward. Been here playing 4 years of varsity. Let's see if Sydney Roby can not get her fourth foul anytime soon. That might be a turning point. 14 minutes to play here in the second half. Let's see if she's going to stay aggressive on the offensive side of the ball, where she can sometimes pick up an offensive charge if she drop steps a little bit too hard.
And you can't turn aggression off. One thing she is, if you've watched her for 4 years, she is aggressive offensively and defensively, and she does not turn it off. And that's what makes her unique and special. So right here, Coach is just trusting her. He trusts that Sydney will make the right decisions. And as a senior, she's been through it all, so she understands how valuable she is to her team.
Turnover right there by Oak Creek. Maddie Gar couldn't hold on to the ball. Here's Kay Clark. Kay Clark finds Garcia. Garcia, half-court pass to Nina. Nina's looking. They're trying to get the ball inside. Working it back to Garcia, and that's what they want right there. Turnover, though, but Garcia not on the same page. And that's the second pass I've seen by Garcia, making a cross-course pass that's not connecting.
What Barnett has done for King is she's opened up the floor to where Oak Creek has now had to go back man-to-man. So it's going to open up some driver lanes for Clark and for some of the other guards. King just had to take Roby out. They're going to try to preserve some of those fouls. So this will be an interesting point to see how long King can keep Roby out of the game.
Another three-pointer right there for Oak Creek, tying this game up at 36-36. Back and forth game here in the second half at Oak Creek High School. Milwaukee Rufus King taking on Oak Creek Knights. And a turnover right there. Careless turnover by Milwaukee King. Back-to-back turnovers by King, not even getting the possession up. Timeout call for Rufus King. It's going to be a 30-second timeout by the King Generals. And Coach, turnovers and back-to-back consecutively for Rufus King is not helping them, and not even giving the ball down to their big. Now they took Sydney Roby out. Good decision for the simple fact you don't want to catch her third foul so early here in the second half.
Yeah, it's a good decision. I think in the first half she proved that she could play with 2 fouls. I think it's so much time left in the second half that you just can't risk her picking up that 4th foul right now. So I think that was a good move by Coach Craig to get her out the game, let Joy go in there and observe some, take on some of the banging and try to finish low a little bit. But I'm sure he'll get her back in the next couple of minutes.
And most times when players get that pick up fouls, it's because of fatigue. You're not moving not where you're supposed to be. You're not moving your feet. So, like you said, Sydney goes hard. So this little break right here would be good for her not to pick up the foul. And also you got a nice 6'4" sophomore backup center that can come in and give you some great positive minutes. 3 seconds called against Rufus King, and that probably goes on the sophomore, Sydney Joy, caught camping in the lane. Garcia brings the ball up the court. Let's see if they can work the ball down to Sydney Joy. Joy's asking for the ball good, but Kay Clark kind of quiet, goes to the basket, call for the foul right there. Should be going to the line shooting 2 shots.
Nice move by Clark, being able to get to her strong hand, her left hand. Just a quick sweep through, able to get to her left hand and trying to go up and score it. She's starting to become a lot more aggressive like we talked about in the first half.
Misses the free throw. First one's no good. Second attempt coming up for Clark. That is up. And in and out, rims out. Oak Creek gets the rebound. And here's Maddie bringing the ball up, passed it to the point guard, 23. And that's Sarah Krause. Back to 15. Jenna Blunt. Steal by Garcia. She has the numbers. Pulls it back out. Finds Nina. Nina finds back to Nina. And Clark. Clark on the attack. Spin. Almost his turnover. Ball's on the floor loose, but Garcia comes up, but she can't walk. She tries to get up, and a traveling call. Another turnover by Rufus King.
I believe this game in the second half, it's going to come down to turnovers and free throws. Right now, it's nip and tuck right now. I think both teams, this game is going to stay close, but I truly believe it's going to come down to which team can limit their turnovers and which team can knock down the most free throws.
And Sydney Roby gets back in, so now you have the Twin Towers. Hernandez up, no good. Sydney kicks the ball out, couldn't get the rebound, but she kept it alive. Garcia, King on the attack. Garcia thinks about it, finds Clark. Clark with a nice pump fake, pulls up, no good. Rebound, loose ball. Oak Creek comes up with it on the run. 23 surveying the situation. No one's guarding it right now. Hernandez. is called with the too many steps traveling. Looked like she got bumped there a little bit. The may cause the travel. The referee didn't see it.
A slight bump there, but these girls are playing hard. The referees are kind of letting them get after it a bit. It's been a well officiated game tonight.
Another high court pass. That must be a play they do a lot in practice. Garcia with another turnover trying to get the ball across the court to Joy. Palming the ball. Carry. Haven't seen that called in a high school game in a very long time because you won't see it called in the NBA. So the high school level is the only level that really calls that probably make that call carry.
First half was a fairly clean game when it comes to turnovers. The second half, you can start to see the fatigue and the intensity of the game starting to weigh in, and now you're starting to see unforced turnovers. You're starting to see missed free throws by both teams.
And Clark picks up a dribble. Roby, you want her to be out there, maybe put her on the ground. You can get a charge on her, but back to Clark. Clark finds Roby. Roby kicks it back out. She could have turned and had an easy shot, but Clark can't keep the handle of the ball, loses it, kicks it back, gives it to Roby. Roby with the power move up and not good. Almost could have got called with an over and back as the Oak Creek bench is crying for an over and back call. No call there, like you said, Coach. Referees are letting them play. They know how much this means to both teams. You want your star players for both sides on the court to finish this game out.
I've been impressed with Oak Creek matching the physicality of Rufus King. They're a smaller team than King, but they're matching the physicality with them. They're out there and they're banging. They're laying their bodies on the line for those rebounds. So I've been really impressed with that.
Scrappy team. We have a hold on Oak Creek. That'll be a number 20. Hernandez picking up her foul, a silly foul right there. Kind of remind me of last night's game with San Antonio, and who was that, Toronto? No, when Ibaka. Clark got called for the hold. And there's the ball. Ooh, I think Sydney got away with a travel right there, moving feet, but she'll be going to the line shooting two. Foul on number 34 for Oak Creek. That's Jamie Finn.
I think Oak Creek, when Sydney catches that ball, they did a great job of pushing her outside of that box. When she catches that ball outside of the box, they have to wall up. They have to wall up. They have to go tall. Instead of reaching in and trying to foul them, they have to go tall to force her to have to go over the top of them.
Roby makes the first free throw, making it 37-36, 10-19 left in the second half. Milwaukee King with a 1-point lead in a revenge game, as we kind of labeled it going into this game. Second shot is up. Off the mark, a little too strong. Here comes Oak Creek. Oak Creek in transition.
Great
number 22 outlet. She got to gather herself. She couldn't make the shot by Katie Carr. And here comes Rufus King. Kay Clark loses her foot. And she's caught with the traveling. Looked like it was a wet spot on the court as she planted her leg to make her move.
The last possession by Oak Creek. Again, they do a phenomenal job of kicking that ball ahead. They kicked it ahead to Katie Guard, and Guard just kind of lost her foot and couldn't gather herself to be able to score.
A nice attempt shot there by Jenny Wendinsky. They're leaving that middle of the court or the lane open. All she has to do is turn around. She may have an easy shot. And there you go, 22.
Coach will probably get a timeout here. King is on a little run here. He'll probably get a timeout to settle the troops down a bit.
So it goes 39-36. Milwaukee King up 3. We got a report here by Gia Health.
All right, guys, it's a 39-36 game. King is up just by a little bit, and it's been an intense game. And despite some of the turnovers, you can see King out there smiling a lot. Oak Creek wants to run the baseline clearly. They're not really making that happen, but the Twins are doing their thing out there on the floor. So, guys, I don't know who you have. I'm calling this game going to overtime. What do you guys think? Let me know.
Overtime, Gia. Well, if we get overtime, it means we got to stay a little bit longer. But, yes, the way this game's going, Coach, like you said, it will come down to the wire, like Gia says, possibly overtime. But I think King can do enough to kind of put this team away. If it comes down to a free throw shooting game, which King doesn't probably want to get into, may go advantage Oak Creek.
Well, I think both teams have an opportunity to win this game. It depends on who can enforce their will on the other team, who can cut down the turnovers, and who can get into the paint and knock down shots. Right now, King has the momentum, but Oak Creek has showed the ability to get back into the game.
Tough miss in and out shot there by Jamie Finn as the ball rattles in and around, could not stay down. King ball.
That's been the second or third possession in a row where Oak Creek has gotten wide open layups and they're kind of rolled around the rim and was unable to finish. If they want to win this game against King, they're going to have to finish those bunnies.
Foul on Oak Creek. Number 12, that's Jenny Waniski. That's her third foul.
Right now, King is trying to impose their will by getting the ball down low to their two big girls, Sydney Joy and Sydney Roby. Both young ladies are stepping up to the free throw line and knocking down free throws as well. So Oak Creek's going to have to get an open shot here or run something for Mandy Guard to be able to get her an open look so they can close this deficit a bit.
And here's Sydney's second shot is good. Sydney Joy knocks both free throws, giving Rufus King a 5-point lead, 41-36. Second half action here at Oak Creek. 9 minutes remaining. Let's see if Oak Creek can get a good shot up here. They don't want to get too far. That middle of the free throw line has been open to attack. If the Oak Creek offensive player can just turn, maybe shoot that little 15-foot jump shot. Oak Creek spreading Rufus King out. And that's right there, number 22. That's up and off by Katie Guard. She can't, but offensive rebound by her sister, Mandy Guard.
Right now, Oak Creek has to get some type of movement. That high post is going to have to step up or hit a shot, or the guard up top will have to step in and hit a shot. Maybe if I'm coach, I might tweak it a bit, and I might have Mandy playing up top where she can catch that ball and make a offensive move from the top.
Blade finds Roby. Roby a little bit too strong, and here comes Oak Creek. 36-41, 8 minutes to go here in the second half. Oak Creek needs to get a basket to get off this drought.
They have to step into those gaps and make King guard them. The big girls don't want to step outside the paint. Nice high-low look. Nice grab. Oh, no foul there. Looked like there was a little body there. The referees are definitely letting them play.
Garcia drives, goes off the glass, kisses it in. Alana Garcia giving King a 43-36 lead here in the second half. 7:30 to go.
King zone is giving Oak Creek a lot of problems right now. Oak Creek has to have somebody other than the guard sister step up and knock down a shot. Great drive from the high post there to get to the free throw line.
Foul called on Rufus King. That's a blocking foul. That would be on number 22, and that's on Blade. That's her first foul. Substitution in. Hernandez reports back into the game. She has 4 fouls for Oak Creek. Let's see how she's going to play these last 7 minutes.
This is a big possession for Oak Creek here. They haven't scored in over 2 minutes, so this is a huge possession for them. They have to get a bucket here, I believe, so that they can keep this, so that they can keep this team keep this game close.
And I think they're going to say correction. That foul was on 42. And that will be the sophomore for Rufus King. And that's Sydney Joy. Turnover from the out-of-bounds play from Oak Creek. Here comes Rufus King.
Oak Creek will not be able to stay close with King if they continue to turn the ball over.
Shot up, but King, Roby's there for a rebound, and she cleans up well as she gets the offensive rebound. Expanding lead, 45-36. Rufus King taking their control over, commanding lead. So 36-45, Rufus King up. Second half is going kind of what we expected. Rufus King is pretty much putting their stamp on this game. Roby is big time factor, but also Burnett. The Burnett, she came in, knocked down some three-pointers, kind of extended Oak Creek defense.
Yeah, what Burnett did is she was able to force the defense to come out and have to guard. By them having to come out and guard her around the three-point line, it opened up slashes for Clark, and it also opened up Roby down low. Roby and Joy to be able to get those touches without getting tripled and double teamed. And now you're starting to see the size and the power of King starting to take over this game.
And only real foul trouble we have is for Oak Creek. You got Nicole Hernandez, their 6-foot center. She has 4 fouls, so she has to be careful so she can finish this game. Roby has 3, but Roby King also has another 6'4" player they can put in there. So right now we get back to the second half, 36-45. Rufus King with the 9-point lead. Let's see what they can do if Oak Creek can come up with a play to make this, get them back themselves back in the game. And Oak Creek moving the ball around. Pass right there. Maddie Gars left wide open. She cannot make the shot. Rebound. Back up strong. No call. Still by Rufus. And here comes King. Garcia finds Blade. Blade back to Roby. Roby gives it to Clark, and they're going to set up a play. Maybe get the ball down low to Clark, or steal. Not a steal.
King has to be smart. They should be in no rush right now. They're up 9 points. They got to continue to work that ball low and take what Oak Creek is giving them inside. They don't have to rush at all. Oak Creek here has to have somebody step up and knock down a shot other than the guard sisters. Great drive. Great pass by guard to Hernandez. Unfortunately, she was unable to finish it, but it gives them an opportunity to stop the bleeding at the free throw line.
We got a report here by Gia.
All right, guys, so I got a chance to sneak into King's timeout, and, their thing was stay active as well as make sure they protect the ball. They said that Oak Creek's known for their desperation threes, so they want to make sure they protect the outer perimeter. And a little quick fact for you against Oak Creek. The Twins, they go to state every year, so we know they're going to be fast on the floor like you've seen all night. They're already throwing up those threes, attacking the basket. So, again, it's going to be a close game.
All right, thank you, Gia, for that. And absolutely right. King has to take care of the ball. That's one of the things. Turnovers, if they can take care of the ball. They had one stretch where they had 3 consecutive turnovers in a row. So if they can take care of the ball, they'll be okay.
King has to take care of it, and Oak Creek has to take care of it as well. Force King to continue to take long shots. Right now, it looks like King has took one of the Twin Towers out. They took out Sydney Joy. So now they're going to spread the floor, and they're going to force Oak Creek to have to come out and guard them. They're going to keep sitting inside and try to dump it into her to try to get her an easy bucket. So it depends on how patient King is, but they cannot turn it over. Turnover there, and guards coming down, going to the free throw line. The last thing he wanted to do was foul. And I'll tell you one thing about Mandy Gars. She got some moxie to her, man. She got fouled. She jumped up and looked directly at the girl like, hey, we're going to keep coming. We're going to keep coming. So this game is far from over.
Right there. So now you have Mandy Gard going to the line. Opportunity to cut into that lead right now as King has a 45-37 lead going right now with 5 minutes. First shot is up. First shot is good for Mandy. So a lot of time left, Coach, don't you think, in this second half, because you're only down 7 points with 5 minutes left, and the three-point ball keeps you in any game nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. The way Oak Creek can spread their floor and shoot the ball with the guard sisters, they're always going to be in the game. It's just the sheer fact that they went to state. They went to state last year, so they have the heart of a champion. So they're definitely not going to give up or give in to King. They're going to keep battling. I wouldn't be surprised if this game still comes down to 1 or 2 possessions.
All right, here's Garcia dribbling the ball for Rufus King. It looks like they're kind of in the stall. Oak Creek coming out too high, and a foul reach in by Valentine Sheen. That's the freshman, 5'6" guard. She picks up the foul.
Looks like King is trying to take some time off the clock. So Oak Creek just has to stay disciplined, but they can't give up out of bounds layups.
Good basket right there by Kay Clark, giving the 47-38 lead.
The nice thing that Oak Creek can count on is that King doesn't have a lot of great free throw shooters. So if they could if they have to commit fouls and force King to go to the free throw line, they can maybe extend the game that way. But you will not be able to extend the game if you continue to turn the ball over.
And now if you're King, you can afford to kind of milk some of this clock, get a good shot, which means get Roby somewhere on the inside that paint.
And if I'm Oak Creek, if Roby catches it low, I'm going to commit a foul. On the year, she's only shooting about 50%.
Foul right there committed by Oak Creek. That's the 17th foul. So right now, everything from here on out will be one-to-one opportunity for a bonus situation for Milwaukee King. Let's see if they can capitalize on their free throws as we have Garcia going to the line, shooting 1-and-1. First shot is up and in, stretching the lead to 10. First 10-point lead by either team for this game as King takes a 48-38 lead here in the second half at Oak Creek.
I think King's size and their athleticism is kind of wearing Oak Creek down. King continues to try to pound it inside to their big girls, where Oak Creek, they just don't have enough size to match up down there.
Garcia knocks down the second free throw, 49-38. Oak Creek desperately need to get a good shot this possession down, but they're working the ball. Clock is now, they're taking their time to get a good shot. Turnover there by 22, and Katie Gard makes the unforced turnover as she tries to get something going to the basket.
Yeah, right now they're trying to make too much happen instead of letting the game flow. Right now the guard sisters, they're forced to have to put their head down and try to make plays for everyone else. The King right now is spreading that floor. They're keeping it spread. They're keeping it in Garcia's hands and letting her make the right read. Nice job. Nice pass.
And one basket right there by Blade as she goes up strong, gets the foul, and Carter looks like this one is kind of slipping away from Oak Creek, but they play a tremendous 17. First two halves, 3 minutes, this last 10 minutes of this game, turnovers, and I think Sydney Roby and Burnett played a huge role in turning the tide for Rufus King.
I like what King did. I think their zone in the second half gave Oak Creek a lot of trouble. They started to give them trouble in the first half, and then they went back to man, but then he came out in the second half in that zone. But don't count Oak Creek out. I mean, the guard sisters can flat out play. The twins can flat out play. They have a few other young ladies that can knock down some shots as well. And
Katie Gard knocks down the 3, cutting the lead to 10, 41-51. As Rufus King has that 10-point lead, and we have, like you said, a lot of basketball left. As you see the score right there, 41-51, courtesy of probably the best man in the business working the camera, Sean Steenbridge, our ace behind. And we got to give a shout out to everybody who's working the staff. Man behind the visuals that you see with all the different camera angles. He goes by the name of Andre Hicks. He's a rook, new to the business, but he's a technician. And then we have the rookie. He's still a freshman when it comes to this game, but we won't give him his name. He has to earn his stripes, but he does a great job with our sound. So the whole team, and alongside with Jose Winston and myself, the athlete bringing you these games. Make sure you tune in this Friday. The athlete will be in Dominican High School as Dominican takes on who is Dominican?
The Prairie School.
The Prairie School, minus J.C. Butler, but nonetheless, still be a good game. We'll have Giannis' younger brother. He'll be playing that game. A new-looking Dominican team. A couple of guys transferred out to Rufus King and also to Wauwatosa West. But nevertheless, Dominican versus the Prairie School this Friday, 7 o'clock tip-off. We'll probably go live around 6:50, 6:55 with the athlete.
Yeah, and historically, the last few years, both of those teams have been two of the better teams in the Metro Conference. I've had an opportunity to coach against both of those teams, and both of those teams are really well coached. Great athletes as well, so I'm looking forward to working that game.
Roby's up, shooting 2 free throws. First one in and out, but Clark is there for the rebound, and that cannot happen when you're trying to make a comeback. Kate Clark slips in there, beats all 3 of the Oak Creek defenders to the rebound, puts it up strong, giving a 53-41 lead.
Yeah, that's a mental breakdown by Oak Creek. Right now, what King is doing, they're pushing far out on Oak Creek. The only score that Oak Creek could get is if they can drive it. But again, if you drive it, you got the big girl, Sydney Roby, there waiting on you to block that shot. So it's going to be difficult for Oak Creek to get back into this game and win this game, especially if they continue to have mental breakdowns at the free throw line like they just did that previous play.
And that turnover for Oak Creek was from Maddie to her sister Katie. Clark drives her way into the lane. She's fouled. She'll be going to line. Now everything is going to be double bonus, so they'll be shooting 2 from here on out with 2:22 left here in the second half.
And that was another mental breakdown. Sydney Roby caught the ball, and the defender that was guarding her did not foul her. I see Coach pretty upset about that because if anybody they want going to the line, they want Sydney going to the line to have to close the game out.
Clark shoots the first one. That's up and good, making it 54-41. 2:22 left here in the second half at Oak Creek. Second free throw attempt is up, and that is nothing but the bottom of the net, extending the lead to 14. Oak Creek's probably want to get a quick shot up, quick first available good shot they can see, and maybe want to foul to extend this game.
Not only does King have quick guards, but they have long athletic wings as well. So their 2-3 zone is very, very active with the length of their wings and the quickness of their guards, and then you always have the big girl in the middle. So that's a very difficult zone to score over the top of and to get into the paint and score as well.
And they're going to foul somebody, like you said, Coach. Roby is the person you want to foul. Like you said, only shooting 50% on the year. Has a chance to go shoot 2 right here on the extended lead if she can knock down both free throws. First one's up. Nothing but the bottom of the net, making it 56-41 here in the second half. Second shot up for Roby. Looking real comfortable with this last free throw attempts. Knocking down both shots, extending lead 41-57. So now that zone seems like they're going to extend that zone past the three-point line to make Oak Creek shoot even deeper threes.
And understanding what they don't want to do, they don't want to foul and stop the clock. That was a great job by King by allowing Oak Creek to score that 2-point basket and not foul them and stop the clock. So that was a great possession by King defensively. Although Oak Creek scored, they did not foul them to stop the clock.
And Oak Creek is obviously really trying to extend this game by fouling, trying to go for the steal. If they can't come up with the steal, they're fouling immediately, sending Ruthless King players to the line. Garcia goes up. She misses that free throw. As a whole, King probably doesn't shoot that well from the free throw line. So if there is a spot, looking at some of the free throw percentage from last year, their best shooter was their point guard, Tashara Morehouse, and she's graduating, having a phenomenal year right now at the college level, at a junior college. She put up some big numbers over the last 2 weeks, had a 36-point game. So showing her scoring prowess at the college level when she played high school, she was setting up her players. And here's Oak Creek, 23, shoots the 3. That's off the mark by Sarah. She misses it for 12. Gina Wininski gets the putback, and now you go for the steal. Can't get the steal, you foul immediately.
Looked like King took Roby out. They got their best free throw shooters in the game now. So they're going to go. One thing, there's no way Oak Creek can get back into this game if they're going back and forth. So King believes that if they can step down to the free throw line and knock down free throws, then Oak Creek won't have a chance at all of getting back into this game.
At one point in time, do you call off the fouling? Like, hey, okay, it's 59-45. We're at a point where technically we can continue to foul. We knock down some threes, yes, we back in it. But when you're down almost 15 points with a minute and 30 left, it's not even under 10. When do you just call off the cavalry? Like, okay, let's just play straight up defense.
I think about a minute or so, and you realize like you're not getting back in it. Then you'll kind of call it off. But if you come down and you knock down a 3 here, then you may keep it. You may keep fouling.
As a fan, as a spectator of the game, if I'm in the stands, I'm like, I've already got the bus warmed up. Let's just get this game over with, and we'll get back to the drawing board tomorrow. We'll practice tomorrow, go over the game plan. As Kate Clark comes up with the steal, no foul there. She lays it up with the right hand. She's one of the best finishers with the left or right hand. As she gets that layup to drop, extend the lead 61-45 under a minute. And there's guard shoots the three, no good. Number 10 goes up strong. She's fouled, and that was Brianna Dukes, the 5'2" junior guard, and she'll be going to the line shooting two.
I think King just wore down Oak Creek tonight. I think their depth was able to bring girls in off the bench for a few minutes to be able to get up and pressure. And they have some good bench contributions as well. Barnett being able to knock down some threes for them to open it up, for Clark to be able to drive it, and for Roby to be able to get some touches without getting tripled and double teamed. So I think overall they just kind of wore Oak Creek down. Unfortunately, Oak Creek wasn't able to get guard the Twins any rest because they need their firepower offensively. So not a bad game by Oak Creek, but as a coach you can take this game, you can go back, you can watch film, and you can teach, and that's what it's all about.
That basket by Oak Creek is Jenna Wanowski. She's getting a lot of easy stuff because of King playing that extended zone. She was able to find holes in the zone. 24 seconds left here in the second half. We have a traveling call, another unforced turnover by Oak Creek, the common theme of this second half for Oak Creek as the Knights turn the ball over at a high rate this second half.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. We said that the game would come down to the team that wins the turnover battle. It looks like the second half, the King won the turnover battle, and the team that can win the free throw battle. In the second half, King got to the free throw line a lot more than Oak Creek did. So great job by both teams, but really good win for King tonight.
All right, so 5 seconds left here. Milwaukee Roofers King will move on to go 4-1 on the year as they revenge a loss to the team that knocked them out of their chance to make it to the state tournament last year as they get the 62-47 win against Oak Creek, revenging the loss they had in the sectional finals last year. So, Coach, we had a great game as King gets the 62-47 win. We'll have our player of the game coming up as Zia will have her player again, which is going to be Sydney Roby. So we'll have that coming up in just about 1 second here, and then we'll also chat with Coach to get his keys of the game. So we'll figure out what's going on and get his expertise of what he got. And Jill, you're standing with our player of the game. What you got for us, Jill?
All right, Roby, it was one point where they triple teamed you early on. How did you handle that? What was going through your mind?
Definitely just trying to keep my head, just trying to stay calm. I definitely try to look for my open players. We are a threat everywhere, so you can't really leave one of my guys open. So I'm going to pass the ball. I'm going to make sure I find my open player so we can get a bucket.
How does tonight's win feel after last year's loss to make it to state?
It's definitely a rivalry thing. I think that we're up one. That because of that loss we took to them last year. So now, we up one. So, the rivalry continues. But, I don't think we're going to see much of them anymore.
All three of us.
And how much did you feed off the crowd? I mean, I heard the crowd every part of the gym. How big of a factor were they for you guys?
Definitely. I definitely love my King spirit. My school is, we have a great inclusive family. Everybody is included in everything. We have great cheers, great fans. We take fan buses everywhere. So it's always great to have your team behind you. Not just your team, but the whole school. So it's always great.
Thank you so much for your time tonight. Great win tonight. You guys heard it here first. Great win for the Kings. It's going to be a good season for them. Until next game, I'm Giovanna Heath with The Athlete.
All right, thank you, Gio. Coming up, we'll have Coach in 15 seconds.
Welcome to the Kings Collection, a luxury line exclusively for men. Shop now at Kings, K-I-N-G-Z, PalaceMenSpa.com.
All right, we're back here at Oak Creek as Milwaukee Kings gets the 62-47 lead. Coach, talk about this before the game. I'm not sure what you told your players, but obviously you guys remember that loss you took from this team last year that kind of ended your season. What was the message for your team in that locker room?
I don't know why you have to bring that up. I mean, it's even bigger than that game, of course, because this has become a rivalry. It's become a true rivalry. It's not a conference thing. But they're one of the very best programs in southeastern Wisconsin, and we like to think that we're in that level too. And it's become Oak Creek versus King in early December is a rivalry game. It has been the last 5 or 6 years, and our girls and their girls. I mean, a double and triple, and she's looking to skip and find her, and the other guards are finding her too. So we know Nadi can shoot, and she needs to continue to get open when Sydney's drawing doubles, triples.
And that's my next question. Talk a little bit about, I think the piece that people don't understand about Sid is not just how well she scores the ball, but her selflessness and passing the ball. That's a talent in itself. So can you talk a little bit about that skill set that she has?
Back to the basket bigs are a dying breed. We know that in the NBA. We know that in college basketball. We know that in high school basketball. There are very few back to the basket bigs, but back to the basket bigs who can pass, there have been very few, period. I mean, that's a very rare skill set, and you get a lot of back to the basket bigs and they become black holes, and she's not that player. She's not even close. There are times in practice where she will not shoot for the whole practice darn near because she's kicking and kicking and kicking, and the coaching staff looks at her like, would you shoot the ball? Mm-hmm. You're a monster underneath. Get the ball on the hoop. So sometimes we have to refocus her like, you need to score. We need you to score. And I think I thought she did a very good job of walking that line today, which is a difficult line for an athlete to walk.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the win and on the rest of the way. Milwaukee King gets the 62-47 win here at Oak Creek, revenging a loss from last year. You're watching The Athlete live, and make sure you stick with us this Friday. We'll be at Dominican High School, take on the Prairie School. For everyone here from The Athlete, good night and see you Friday.
I'm jumping from my